Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ernie Alima, and in today's video I'm going to be going over topic 4 of AQA A-Level French, which is the positive features of a diverse society. Just a warning that for this video there may be some background noise, it's just due to the location I'm filming in. I have a new structure for the videos now, so they're going to be more streamlined, and I've removed the translations. Instead, I would recommend using online resources, past papers, or other exam boards' past papers for translations. You can also use AS Papers and ChatGPT for practice. The structure of this video will be an introduction, vocabulary, content, and corrections. I'll also go through a website called French Top 10, which is a very good website for statistics and more information about all of the topics you study in your French course. Here we have an introduction and a warm-up. So the three topics we'll be covering underneath this whole topic are l'enrichissement dû à la mixité ethnique, diversité, tolérance et respect, diversité, un apprentissage pour la vie. So the warm-up task for today is to define these words. So define enrichissement, define mixité ethnique, define diversity, tolerance and respect, and then what could diversité, un apprentissage pour la vie, what could that mean? Give the video a pause and try to define those. I'll be giving some answers very shortly. Okay, so l'enrichissement is basically enrichment, so enhancing or improving something, often by adding value or new elements. In this context, it refers to cultural, social, and economic benefits gained through exposure to different ethnicities. La mixité ethnique is ethnic diversity, and it's the coexistence and interaction of people from various ethnic and cultural backgrounds within a community or a society. Diversité, tolérance, et respect. So these three things together essentially is recognizing and valuing differences among people, embracing open-mindedness, and treating others with dignity regardless of their background. And then an apprentissage pour la vie is basically a lifelong learning experience, which is the idea that being exposed to diversity in this context teaches valuable lessons such as empathy and understanding, which are applicable throughout one's life. On this slide, we have some vocabulary. I'd recommend giving the video a pause just to have a look at the words. These are some nice to know words that I've got off online off ChatGPT. But if you want more sources of vocabulary, I'd recommend using textbooks, Quizlet, Seneca, lots of different resources to find words. I'll put links in the description below. On this slide, we have a few more words. Please give the video a pause and look at these words. The subtopic that we have here is l'enrichissement dû à la mixité ethnique. We're going to go over what ethnic diversity is, the cultural enrichment thanks to diversity, economic contributions, social and educational advantages, some challenges of social integration. We'll look at inequality in the banlieue of France and also the suburbs, and then we'll have a look at some examples. You can also find documentaries online about the history of French immigration for greater knowledge, as here I'll just be briefly touching on that. But there are lots of online videos and documentaries on YouTube that cover French immigration very well. So what is ethnic diversity? Ethnic diversity refers to the coexistence of people from various ethnic backgrounds within a society. In France, it's particularly visible in cities like Paris, Lyon, and Marseille, where immigrant communities contribute to a rich cultural mosaic. Cultural enrichment through diversity. So France benefits from many diverse cuisines, music, and art influenced by African, North African, and Asian communities. Festivals like the Festival des Cultures du Monde in Ghana showcase how cultural diversity enhances French heritage. There are also economic contributions of diversity. So immigrants and their descendants play a crucial role in sectors like construction, healthcare, and technology. For example, Algerian and Moroccan workers significantly contributed to France's post-war economic boom. There are social and educational benefits too. Schools in diverse areas expose students to multiple cultures, promoting open-mindedness. open-mindedness. In France, initiatives like Éducation prioritaire aim to reduce educational inequalities in multicultural regions. However, there are some challenges of social integration. France faces issues like discrimination and difficulty integrating immigrant populations into mainstream society. The debate over laïcité, which is basically secularism, highlights tensions between cultural traditions and French values. There are also some inequalities in the suburbs or les banlieues. These are home to many immigrant families, they often suffer from high unemployment and limited access to quality education. For example, areas like Seine-Saint-Denis face persistent socio-economic challenges. Now, looking at some examples, the Cité Nationale, the Musée National de l'Histoire de l'Immigration in Paris celebrates France's immigrant history. So that's the Musée National de l'Histoire de l'Immigration, which is a museum in Paris. Football stars like Kylian Mbappe, with roots in Cameroon, and just different African countries, embody the success of ethnic diversity in French society. When France won the World Cup in 1998, they had a phrase which was Black, Blanc, Bleu, which was the nickname for the French football team, Les Bleus. The phrase is a play on the French flag's colours, which is bleu, blanc, rouge, and it was used to describe the team's cultural and ethnic diversity and to celebrate the integration of immigrants into French society. Now, moving on to the subtopic of diversité, tolérance, et respect. So, cultural diversity in France. In France, there's lots of cultural diversity due to historical waves of immigration, and there have been immigration from communities of people from North Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, Europe, and many more. This diversity enriches French culture. Now, moving on to the tolerance and the importance of tolerance. This is crucial for social cohesion in a country. The 1905 law separating church and state ensures religious freedom, so this is more about la laïcité. Recent debates around secularism, such as discussions about wearing the hijab, highlight the importance of tolerance in French society. There are some challenges linked to diversity too. There are social tensions, especially in the suburbs, due to economic inequality. Recent terrorist attacks have also tested tolerance and solidarity in French society. And the Black Lives Matter movement has also had an impact in France. There have been debates on racial discrimination in the police force. The final subtopic that we're going to cover in this video is diversité, un apprentissage pour la vie. So, a lifelong lesson of diversity. La diversité comme valeur fondamentale en France. In France, diversity is a key aspect of national identity, especially with its colonial past and ongoing immigration. It encourages French society to reflect on inclusion and equal rights. So, France's motto is Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité, and this highlights the importance of embracing all citizens, regardless of origin. L'apprentissage de la tolérance à travers l'éducation en France. So French schools promote tolerance by teaching students about the country's diverse heritage and human rights. There have also been several laws passed to reduce discrimination in schools, and there's a principle of laïcité, which essentially, in the context of education, it means that that students and teachers are meant to respect religious and cultural differences while ensuring state neutrality. Les bénéfices sociaux de la diversité en France. The diversity of France's population enriches social and cultural life. Urban centres like Paris, Marseille, and Lyon are examples of these multicultural hubs, where diverse communities coexist, influencing food, music, and language. There are plenty of festivals such as Le Festival de Cannes, which showcases a wide variety of cultures and perspectives through cinema. There are some challenges too with integration and diversity in France. So there's still discrimination and marginalisation, particularly in immigrant communities in the suburbs or the banlieue. High unemployment rates and social exclusion are more prevalent in these areas, particularly for those of North African or Sub-Saharan descent. There have been riots in these suburbs, which highlight ongoing tensions and struggles for equality among immigrant communities. Diversity can be a factor of personal growth in France. So, embracing diversity can encourage individuals to challenge their assumptions and expand their worldview. The exposure to different cultures and daily life, from food to festivals, can foster personal growth. We're going to have a look at some sentences and we're going to try and correct them too. So, this is important because in the writing exam, it's very easy to write down your sentences and then make small mistakes. So, it's important that you leave time at the end to go over your work to find any mistakes, which is why we're doing this exercise. So, the first sentence, la diversité nous enrichit de manière différente. What is the error or errors in the sentence? Here we can see the corrected sentences. La diversité nous enrichit de manière différente. So it's just the conjugation of the verb enrichir. It's an IR verb, it's not an ER verb. So in this case, it should end in IT because it's talking about la diversité. Now, moving on to the next one. Les jeunes français ne pas comprendre la culture étrangère. What errors are in this? We can see here, les jeunes français ne comprennent pas. So it's just a normal verb. Ne, verb pas, ne comprennent pas. Les cultures étrangères. So it's étrangère because culture is feminine and plural. Moving on. Si la diversité serait plus reconnue, les gens pourraient mieux vivre ensemble. Okay, what could the errors be here? The correction is si la diversité était plus reconnue, les gens pourraient mieux vivre ensemble. So the difference here is était. It doesn't make sense to say if diversity would be more recognized, people would live better together. It makes more sense to say if diversity was more recognized, people would be able to live better together. So usually you'd use si with the imperfect tense. So si la diversité était, which is in imperfect, and then you use the conditional, les gens pourraient. Next one, les expériences que j'ai eues dans des pays différents ont beaucoup changé ma perspective. So, les expériences que j'ai eues, if you look at eu, it has an es at the end. This is because expérience is female and plural. We've covered this in a previous video. We've mentioned it before. And then that was the only error here. Finally, bien que la tolérance est importante, il faut que chaque individu respecte les différences. So, bien que la tolérance soit importante, you need to use soit because it's the subjunctive. Il faut que chaque individu respecte, again, it's another subjunctive, il faut que, les différences. You can't use il faut que and then a normal imperfect tense. It just wouldn't make sense. Okay, finally, this is a website I'd recommend you go to for concrete examples. It's called French Top 10 and has bilingual notes on A-Level French topics. I'll put the link in the description too. It's a very useful website. They have notes for all of the main topics for A-Level French, and they also have very good notes on the book No et Moi if you're studying that for your book. We've now reached the end of the video, so thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Just a reminder that this video is designed to supplement your revision. It's not a substitute for your official lessons and your textbooks. It's just another resource to help you succeed. Please refer to the description of this video where I'll put in the links to all of the resources I've mentioned. And see you next time.